Hey everybody, welcome back to Abzu. About 10 minutes before starting this recording session, stubbed my toes so bad that I broke 3 of them. I am in a lot of pain. My entire left leg hurts like crazy. So I'm hoping that by playing this game, I will be able to distract myself for the next couple hours until the incredibly sharp swelling pain gives way to a nice gentle numbness. Alrighty. So last I left off in this game, I guess I was like just kind of exploring this area. I had just pulled the two. Yes, I played this 2 days ago and I can't remember it, but I pulled the two like chain things and I opened up a door somewhere. Now, this area, I don't know if I've been through it or not. It looks really, really cool. So I apologize for people who do know this game very well, and I'm about to backtrack. I don't really know, but I'm very interested in seeing what's going on over here. And that's a great white. I am not ready to deal with that shit. Not right now. The game is forcing me into a cinematic view and being like, no, no, no. You will definitely look at this great white shark. Bird, sliding on the side of reason here, but shouldn't you get your toes checked out? No. So the thing is, if you break your toes, there's nothing you can do about it, except try to keep as much weight off of your toes as possible so that they heal. But, all going to a doctor get x-rayed is gonna do if you've broken your toes, is they will confirm that your toes are broken. It is not a mystery to me right now. It is very, very clear what that feeling is. Imagine if it felt like somebody basically stabbed the top of your foot, and also the bottom of your foot had like a big cramp in it, like just a dank muscle cramp. That's kind of what it feels like right now. And that is not pleasant whatsoever. But, like I said, this is why God gave us video games, was to distract us from our pain, both physical and emotional. Stop running away from me, lionfish. I'm just gonna keep spamming sound effects at you until you accept my love. Alright, yeah, I've established that this is definitely the only area I can really be exploring right now. This is kind of pretty, though, so I'm going to just pop up here real quick and see if there's anything I can find. And I don't believe I'm going to actually find anything useful. I was hoping for, like, a Shelly boy, but I don't really see that happening. So, I guess it's time to confront the Great White himself and see that doofy-ass look on his face. And hope that he decides to eat my robot friends instead of me. They can always take one for the team. That's why there's so many of these robots, right? You know, they're basically your health bar. Wait, did the Great White leave? No, 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 there he is. I see him swimming around. I wonder if he's gonna try and kill me. Nope, he's scared of me. What a little, like, jackass. Can't handle a brave diver like myself. Well, I could chase after the Great White, but I think I'm just going to quickly pop in here and see what the Great White was guarding. And it looks like it wasn't really much of anything. So, alright, well, let's just, I don't know what was so special about this area. Is this a statue that I can meditate upon? It does not appear to be that way. But it is very cute to see it, like, holding pots next to other smaller pots. It's like, aw, they made the statue into a reel, because it had a shark, and it had pots. Well, let's go ahead and just check out what's going on in the tunnel, then. And, I assume, based off the fact that I was seeing a bunch of lights, I'm going to be entering, like, some dead zone, and I'll have to do that thing where I go into the black hole and see, you know, the future or whatever, and I end up releasing a bunch of sharks everywhere. God, I hope I don't end up releasing a bunch of sharks everywhere, but, you know, if I do, it's really only, you know, bigger sharks than the ones I've already released. I've already released hundreds of thousands of sharks into this world. I don't really see what the harm is in doing it with just bigger and more sharks, right? This is very pretty. I don't really see much of a reason to explore around this area just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and sail on down to this area and see what I end up finding here. I hope it's something cool, like it's a bunch of manatees. I would gladly take like a whole bunch of manatees released upon this world rather than a whole bunch of great white sharks. Generally speaking, every animal I've released has been very peaceful. You know, I did the cow nose rays and the eagle rays. What did I do? Yeah, I did the manta rays in the first zone, and then I did the orcas, and that was really cute. So hopefully, you know, I'll get a similar peaceful experience. Now, from what I can tell, there are 4 shrines in this bottom area, and this is the 3rd one, meaning that I probably don't have a whole lot of game left very soon. Bird, do I recommend this game? I would recommend this game. I would recommend playing Journey over this game, but if you can't play Journey and you want to play something really similar to Journey, then I would say that this is a perfectly fine substitute for that experience. But I think that Journey is kind of a masterpiece, and this feels close. It feels like it's like an imitation of Journey or something like that, more so than Journey itself. Oh, I believe I'm releasing not the evil great white sharks, but rather those big like sun sharks or whatever, the ones that like live to be 1 billion years old and they're vegetarians. You know the ones I'm talking about. Well, if you don't know the ones I'm talking about, you're about to find out about them, because they're cool. They're like if sharks were friends instead of foes. I don't feel too bad. I mean, I kind of feel bad about saying stuff like that, because, and this happens a lot in nature documentaries as well. People tend to be very unfair towards predators in nature, and because they don't like the idea of like, you know, people preying on, or like animals preying on like cute mammals and stuff like that. Whale shark, yeah, that's the one. People like, whenever you see nature documentaries, people, you know, if it's like a fox trying to hunt like a vole or something like that, people will instinctively like side with the vole and assume that the fox goes hungry and stuff like that. Which is kind of sad in its own way, because like it means that the fox will starve to death if people like if it's not able to get food, and like people don't really sympathize with like the predator in a lot of those situations. I'm not really sure how I got on this topic, but I guess it ends up being a real problem for conservationists, because they the public support for any sort of preservation program for apex predators and the like is not nearly as well supported for like cute things. I mean, if you think about it, how much support is there for like panda preservation? And pandas are stupid, and like almost all of the money goes to preserving them, and a whole bunch of other animal species don't get a whole lot of conservation efforts really dedicated to them. I know that a lot of conservationists have actually spoken about this issue, where they say that, like, pandas, because of how cute they are and how difficult they are to preserve, end up eating up so many resources of conservationist movements that it's difficult to get other animals. Well, that was a really, really unexpected tangent to fall through, but there we are. So this is a golden trevally, and it's very cute, aside from the fact that it looks like it's very sad. I mean, it's actually kind of cute because it looks really sad. Look at its constantly frowning face. Bird, do I have Journey on my YouTube or Twitch? I do not, as I do not own a PlayStation 3. However, I am debating buying one it may be the case that I just played Bloodborne and Journey on it. And that's the only games I pick up for the PlayStation 3. And I think that that would be kind of a worthwhile purchase. Ow, I just moved my left foot. I need to remember that I cannot do that right now. Alrighty. There's a yellowtail snapper. I'm trying to see if there's any sort of fish that I don't know anything about yet. Oh, there's the yellow long-nosed butterfly fish. It's very pretty. And, yeah, I don't really see anything else. I'd like to be able to see the whale shark at some point, but I guess I'm not gonna be so lucky. Well, if that's the case, then, we will go ahead and, tootle on out of here and enter the last zone. Now, Keith did tell me that this game is divided into 4 sections, which is why it has 4 shrines. The 4 sections represent the 4 seasons, respectively. So this is fall. The one I'll be coming up upon is not autumn, is winter. And thinking back onto it, it's like, yeah, I guess I did see like spring, summer, fall now, and then we're gonna be entering the last chapter here. And that's a little sad because it does mean that the game is actually quite short, but it's a very nice little experience, and this is extremely pretty. You know, it's got that like very Arabic, kind of Arabesque style architecture here, both in the just like the style of the building itself, and also the, you know, the decorations. This sort of yeah, these sorts of tiles. I think these are called arabesques. Anyway, they're very pretty, and yeah, this whole thing has just a very like Middle Eastern, like what is it? It's like the Near East and the Far East or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, like what that all means. That seems like very, very antiquated terminology anyway, so it's a little hard for me to like really stand by very much of it. So Keith might have been lying to me because I see that there are 6 zones here and then one at the bottom. So Keith may have been trying to be a Decepticon or a Tricker Bug, and I don't really approve either way of his shenanigans. So if you go ahead and see Keith, if Keith shows up in the stream tonight, I want you all, just as soon as he comes in, just call him a poop nose straight to his face. In fact, even if he shows up tomorrow or like 3 days from now, like, just go onto his channel. No, don't do that. I was gonna say, go onto his channel, find his latest video, and just be like, "Hey, Bird calls you a poop nose." But don't actually do that. I don't want anyone to raid let's say associate of mine's, a colleague, to try and use the most like dismissive term I can think of. This is cool. So these people had the ability to something, and then they made a temple to the somethings, and that elevated them up to the status of something. And a whole bunch of fish were pretty scared shitless about the situation and peaced out. What about this wall here? So shrines, the fish ran away, and we have a lot of like bending, willowing, wispy plants. Well, I guess that's as much plot as I'm going to be able to suss out of here. Perhaps a deeper thinker than I can actually put together what's going on. But for me, I'm just like, I say fish. So that's all the thought you're going to get out of me. Okay, we're heading towards more ruined areas here. I wonder if the last level, the winter level, is going to be basically taking place entirely in these sorts of underwater temple-y type areas. I guess there's only one way to find out. I'm going to meditate in this room real quick and see if there's anything neat here. I see some eels. It's a green moray eel. A green moray eel. A bonnet head shark. Oh, it's so little. A remora, which is a very cute looking animal. We got some more remoras. We got clownfish. Aw, yeah, there's a whole school of clownfishies. It's a whole. I found Nemur. I love finding Nemur. Alright, juvenile emperor angler. Angelfish? Oh, okay. Oh, it's really pretty too. Everything in this room is very shiny. And we have nautiluses, which I thought that they crawled along the bottom of the seafloor, but I guess they do other things too. Well, good for them. And what are you? A coelacanth? Huh. People know the story of the coelacanth, right? The coelacanth is what's known as a living fossil. And what that is that means that the coelacanth is very ancient. I think it comes from the Devonian period. And the Devonian period predates, like, all of the dinosaurs by hundreds of millions of years. I think the Devonian era is, like, one of the most earliest forms of life that we still have any sort of fossil record of. Now, people thought that coelacanths, which, if I remember, they are from the Devonian era. I will look this up, just to make sure that I have my facts completely correct, because I love coelacanths. I think they're a really, really cool story. So, coelacanths were... They are related to Devonian fish. They were thought to become extinct during the late Cretaceous period, around 66 million years ago. The Devonian era... I can't read what this means. Spent 60 million years ago, from the end... Okay, the Devonian era spanned 66 million years ago, starting 420 million years ago. So these are old as shit animals. And so people thought that there's no way that coelacanths, you know, they were a fossil. People did not know that they were still alive. There's the spoiler. In the 1930s, a fisherman fished up a coelacanth, and like some anthropologist, like some, not anthropologists, coelacanths are people, some fish guy, like was at the fish market, and he found a coelacanth for sale to like get eaten, and he was like, holy shit, where did you find this? And they found hundreds of these fuckers. Turns out that coelacanths were still alive, making them one of the oldest living things. You know, they're from the Devonian era. Imagine if you found something that's like 3 times older than a stegosaurus. I think it's really, really cool that they're still alive for that long. Most other living fossils are plants, which is, you know, not all that. I did not know I could summon every single fish to me. By meditating, I can have them all be my friend. Wow. That's funky. I didn't know you could do that in this game. So anyway, can I hitch a ride on the coelacanth? That's the real question. I assume not, as the coelacanth is not all that big. But if I could... Come on. Huh. I love you, coelacanth. You're my friend. I did not know that you were a predatory fish, though. But... but, you're very cool. Yeah, so most of the living fossils are... They're plants. So it's like, I found, like, the red sappled fern. Like, that's not exciting. But coelacanth, that's all exciting. And the only reason I know about coelacanths is that I played a game on the SNES called EVO. And if you don't know what EVO is, it's a really fucking bad game. Where it was like an RPG where you played as an animal, and you got to buy, like, different animal parts. And you started as a fish, and you bought, like, a horn and, like, better fins and stuff like that, using evolution points. And you traveled through basically every single, like, geologic time period. So you started in the Devonian era, then you went to, like, the Jurassic era, then you went to, like, the Cambrian era and stuff like that. And you could do these really interesting things. Like, you could eventually evolve into a human being. You could evolve into a dragon. You could evolve into a mermaid. And et cetera, et cetera. Like, you could do all sorts of really cool stuff in that game. And, it's not very good because there's a couple things that are wrong with it. One is it's really hard, and two is it's really boring. And three, the story is one of the worst. The story of EVO is that a bug, like a fucking cockroach, basically keeps trying to destroy evolution so that human beings can't evolve. And you go through history fighting this cockroach's creation. So what he does is he makes, like, in the Devonian area, he makes super sharks so that they can devour the fish that first evolved to walk on land. So you defeat that shark so that the fish that can walk on land can live, and they can become it's so big and beautiful.